simple now for my second life. That's when it started. This was truly, no, I thought reject when I think of okay, better now. Then this instance, which was talking to me, which I didn't know, of course, I had no idea what that was. It was not a voice, but it was still clear, very clear, a message, exactly the message which I had wanted, desired. I wanted to know what is my purpose in life, what is the purpose, our purpose, was also added as a question. And the answer was quite simple, straight, and so profound that it kicked me over, and I said, wow, I had to write it down. And I was not used to writing down in the night, but I still found a piece of paper and scribbled it down, and I still have the scribble. But in the meantime, I couldn't talk to anybody about it for several years, until I finished one of the first books of Sheldrick. And when I had finished his book on that same day, I realized this is 5 years after this date when I had this first message. And I give you the message now, because from that moment on, I had at least someone to talk to. And he responded very gently, but it was not going any further. But then, I know, okay, now I got this information, I got this message as an answer of my question, and really truly from some other dimension. So I have to give it to you, but I could only give it to you after a little later. I went to a breathing seminar from Stan Groff. Holotropic breathing, you may know this. It's a little bit like LSD, just shorter. And, all right. And you can imagine I know what I'm talking about, because I could compare this, because in the beginning I had a little bit, it got me looser. I never got any spiritual answer in these other substance-oriented things, but it opened my own mind, and it was useful. I'm grateful for it. Well, these long times before. But when I had this holotropic breathing exercise, all of a sudden I saw, first of all, I have it here. In my book. And those books are not to stay here, but if you're not more than 30 people, there are 30 books left, and they will be for you. In English, in German, English, but anyway. I tried English. And I saw, and I didn't know what it meant. Now I've got the explanation. I saw a triangle, a light triangle upwards. And this was superimposed, no? Thank you. By a second triangle downwards. So this was the Star of David. Since I have a Jewish grandmother, I knew what the Stars of David is, but I didn't see this to be the Star of David. It was something completely different, and I couldn't explain what it was. For me, it was the proof that something was telling me something which is not coming from my mind. And then I saw something which I now dare to describe, but it is still moving a lot. I saw, I don't know what it was. It were figures, beings without a body, but they were real existing entities of light. They came to me, it was, oh la la, I still feel it now. It gives me, what do you call it, bumbles in my body, because it's the truth. And this is quite a long time ago. And they told me, come on, now you have done some work, now you learned why this is the right way, what you're doing, and you got reinforcement, and now, I didn't say it's so complicated, but I said, now go out, open yourself. And that became the beginning of my second life. not the beginning in Haiti with these attempts. These were normal attempts for a business person to try something new. And it was marketing in the sense that it was supposed to be done in the sense, with the intention that those for whom it was intended were really benefiting from it. It was not manipulative. That's my idea about marketing. The original idea about marketing is very loving. You should do what people really want and not manipulate them. But that is I respect from my marketing training. But anyway, then it was a clear situation, a clear answer, and a clear message. And the consequence is that I, from that moment on, worked on my departure from my family company and created my own foundation. And this is the symbol of my foundation. And the black and white hand is simply meaning, well, this was Haiti, it was a black hand, it was an African friend of mine, not from Haiti, but from Germany, and my own hand. And this is a symbol of unity in the world. It is not necessarily Europe and Africa, so it's just different kinds of people together. That's the idea. And solidarity and partnership, I don't think it has to be explained, that's just clear. And the foundation was a small foundation, and still is a small foundation. It grew a little bit, but it is now added the name for One World in Diversity. But why I'm saying all this, once I had received this message, for me, and this is the essential word, for me it was clear it is not enough to become conscious, because it was a process of consciousness, that I can do something, and I have to do something, and I have to do it in a specific way, which was my way, which was given to me as a message. This is what you can do. And this is now written down in my foundation. And some of you have received these papers. I distributed a few. I have a few left. I have to give you quickly the purpose of this foundation, which is exactly the content of what I mean. It is to contribute in a just and peaceful learning one world in diversity, with emphasis on providing children a chance through child-centered early education to enable lifelong learning. This is the formal sentence. It's very official in Germany to have one of these purposes in a formal way of my foundation, and it's also my heart's basic direction. And this is what since that time, okay, I still get my earnings from this company because I worked there after all for 40 years and almost 30 years as their director of the family company. So they allowed me to come here and participate, and not indirect, not that they pay me the trip here, but they pay my life, okay? And so I have a decent life, but I feel the obligation, since I have a decent life, not a super rich one, I must continue doing what this message has clearly told me to do: promote learning for a growing humanity, for qualitative learning for the humanity, with a special emphasis on children. And the message itself was very precise. The original German was, das Ganze muss durch Lernen wachsen. The whole must grow through learning. And now, very important, dabei hilft Liebe. Love helps in this framework. And there comes a very important third sentence. Ich muss dazu tun, was ich kann. I have to do in this framework what I can. Not more. But what I can, I have to do. And this is the clear message, and that's what I'm doing. And it's very simple. I mean, my life has not become unhappy. On the contrary, I found a nice Buddhist phrase that good life is balanced. On the one side, it is serious, profound work of any kind, of many kinds, whatever is being told to you, us, we humans, what our way could be. And on the other hand, is joyful living. in every way, with good wine and dancing and music and everything. There's no contradiction if one has this in a decent balance. And this balance is a permanent struggle. Of course, it has to be found, because there's always a temptation to overweigh the nice part of it. But I tell you, once you start with something like what I started, then in Haiti, it gets its own dynamic. And then it becomes something which is yours. It's fulfilling. And it was not a problem for me to then quit my company, because I was fourth generation, fine, nice product, and successful, no problem, but it was not my own. I didn't want to be just the son. And this was coming out of my own development, and what is most important, it makes sense. The sense which I looked for my life, and the sense which I asked for humanity is not this exact sense. But I mean, my sense in this case is promote learning. And other people may have different senses. But I mean, whoever asked this question, and this is the reason why I wrote books. My first English book is now several years old. And the English one is relatively newer, or not a few years old now. And this is the key message. Dare asking this question, what is our path? I asked this question, and I got the answers. Not immediately. And certainly not in combination with little drugs and so on. No, I must say that some people have the luck of having can report that this works for them, not for me. It was learning from the inside, yes, and I'm grateful for these little exercises in traveling deep with substance, yes. I did this for some time in the very beginning, but now, whatever happens now comes as a gift. I call it grace. And the consequence is that I found that love is the key, and love is really essential in all religions. And those who have received this paper know exactly now, if they read the first sentence, where my spiritual position is now. And I read it again for those who have not received it. Conscious that all is interconnected through the inner nucleus of all that exists, an all-encompassing divine spirit, we human beings have the freedom and face the challenge to co-create a balanced world, and then come a few demands, like of course, protecting creation, environment, very important. And the other one, enable a peaceful, loving community of people. Community, again, something you want here. Living together in dignity, solidarity, and in social structures defined by the Golden Rule. Allow two people to benefit from the fruit of research and creative productivity in an open, fair, and effective way. And all this may lead to a socially and ecologically balanced market system. And this is something I fight for in Germany politically.